He pushes you out of what and where you are into where He wants you to be with the right person. The method of God is not by using forceful means to carry out His plans. God had the agenda for Him to send His Son to die for mankind, and Ruth was in the equation because He knows the end from the beginning, and the way He brings her into the picture was to ensure that the man, Elimelech, travels out because of famine, and one of his sons would have to marry a woman named Ruth. The sons would have to die, and then Ruth would come down to the land of Israel. It is not in her willpower that she did follow Naomi to her country. She was responding to the leadings of God. It was not mere coincidence that Rebekah was the first to come to fetch water that day. It was possible she could not bear staying at home or waiting for the others to come to get water with her because they usually go in groups. This was also how Moses came out and found himself beside the well where the daughter of Reuel met him. A way to know God is positioning you for the right partner is that He makes things around you seem as though they are against you. You would not miss this positioning God is preparing for you. He grants you unusual access to the person or person's family. This is another sign and step to know that God is positioning you for the right partner. Ruth would never have been accepted by the people of Israel if she had just come and wanted to associate, live, and marry among them. It would have been an impossible or difficult task, and God needed to make a family go and meet her there and cause her to come back. Same also in the case of Moses. Moses would have to marry a princess of Egypt, and even in exile, if not for the meeting God had already planned at the well, it would be difficult to get an invitation to the house of the priest of Midian when he was like a nobody, a poor man chased away from his land. The servant of Moses, Eleazar, would not have had it easy going to the girl's family if God had not granted the access by bringing the lady out for them to meet. Are you expecting a sign from God about the right partner? Check through. Where or which family or person has God given you and due access and privilege? That is the signs of His wonders and works. He gives the access for you to be able to meet the right partner for your life. He grants access, and as such access has been given to you, do not misuse or mismanage the express access. Who has God given you favorable access into the family or person? It is your right place. He has positioned and placed you there to meet your right partner. Take good advantage of it, and you would meet the right person God has positioned for you. Another sign that God is positioning you to meet with the right partner is that He brings you closer to the person's work and makes you resourceful to that person. Ruth could not have decided to just stay at home and wait for the rest of her pairs, but she moved in the direction God positioned her in. She was resourceful in the farmland of Boaz. Boaz was her helper. Rebekah was the helper to Eleazar, just like he asked God. Moses was the helper of the daughters of the priest of Midian, and they also in turn helped him, and he became the keeper of the father's sheep. A sign you should look out for is how resourceful are you to the person or the person to you. Remember that God is not calling you into a relationship to be a liability, burden, or stress to someone. He is sending you as a helper to the person and vice versa. Do you see yourself as resourceful to the person? Do you have something to offer to the person in terms of intellect, advice, and more? If you are not resourceful or the person is not resourceful to you, that is not God positioning you. God will not position you to suffer. He will position you to someone that will impact your life and you theirs. That is the reason for your union, to be a helpmate and support and comfort for your partner. If things do not play out like this for you, then that is not God positioning you. If that you and that person are meant to be, you would easily connect and it would be easy. He would position you to meet or be found by someone who you are resourceful to and would be resourceful to you. You solve a problem, immediate need in the life of the person. When you do not solve a need or problem in the life of the person you meet or are with, it is not God who has positioned you there. You would be a problem solver to the person God brings or positions you with. In the Rebecca story, the Bible records that she was of marital age, was beautiful and a virgin, but nobody had asked her hand in marriage. Isaac solved that problem. Moses was lost, needed a home, and the priest of Midian had daughters who were always terrorized when they go out to get water. Moses solved that problem. Someone needed to redeem Ruth and Naomi's family things, and Boaz had no rest until he redeemed her family and took her as his wife. The person God has positioned you would be positioned to solve or meet your immediate need. Look out for solutions you could offer to that person and value or spaces that need to be filled in the life of that person. When God positions you for someone, He makes you a problem solver. Look for the problem to solve. If there is no problem or vacuum you can fill up in that person's life, then that is not the handwork of God. Through His Word, it is in prayer that God moves and positions you to the right partner. You must not depart from Him or get disconnected from Him. Remain faithful to Him and in Him, and you would not miss your positioning. Your positioning is your place of blessing. You would be positioned in the right place and would not miss out on the right partner for your life. When you are at the wrong place, you cannot receive what is yours. God is always making connections, blessing many, and meeting our needs, but what is more important is being positioned at the right place of your visitation. There are times you just have to leave your comfort zone to the place God wants you to be before you can receive the blessing He has rolled out for you. God does not do things anyhow. He works with His system. He works in steps. You cannot be everywhere at the same time. It is needful for you to identify and know your place so that you would be located and be blessed. Why did you think God told Abraham to leave his home country, people, and move to where He would show him? Why did you think God told Elijah to leave and meet him on the Mount of God? Why did you think God had to ensure Moses was exiled and found his way to the mount rearing cattle? The need for positioning is important. You must allow God to position you in the right place and with the right people before you can fulfill destiny and make an impact here on earth. Abraham was from a wealthy family, but where he was would have limited his exploit. Elijah was always hearing God, but would not be able to see the other dimension of God if he had not gone to meet Him on the mount. Moses would probably be remembered only when you read history books of great kings of Egypt, but leaving and finding himself in the place God wanted him to be made him live a life of generational impact. God is always doing the same for us. He is shifting us and wants to position us with the right people and in the right place, but sometimes we do not pay attention or work following His positioning and timing and miss out. Moses, even when exiled, would have decided to maybe organize a mob to start terrorizing Egypt, but he did not, else he would have missed the wife God prepared for him. Your timing is now. Your season is now. God has not forgotten about you and His promise to bless you with the right partner. He is working on it. The story and account of Ruth would be relevant in this lesson.